And once we've got that, we can then look at going forward with now what I need to do. Now obviously when the game first starts, it puts in towns and cities, and it kind of does some very weird sort of some very weird routes. Now I don't want to knock down any buildings if I can help it, but what I do want to do is try and join up as many of these as I possibly can without knocking down buildings, and then maybe upgrade a touch of road like there. To promote, to try and convince the computer, the AI system, where it needs to plant its own vehicles and stuff when it's doing its own expansions later on to the cities, and it's growing the cities. We want it to try and do it in a logical fashion. Because obviously, if I put for example, a train station down now, say if I put a cargo station here to feed this industrial area, that'll be in place, and then over time, as the town expands and grows, it will swallow up that cargo station, which will make it very difficult for us later on to expand cargo stations. Now again, you go to put in a station, for example, this is a freight station. This is your standard single lane, single platform, one road access cargo station. So obviously you can have a secondary street connection. So for example, if you was inside a city, you know, you could put it there, run a road from either side, and then you're able to feed. If you had commercial stuff coming in and industrial stuff, you could feed both. Obviously your platform length's quite important, because obviously the longer trains you can accommodate, the more stuff that they can carry. And again, ideally you want the longest trains you can run, because you want to be able to get as many goods as you can into a town on each train, because trains are very expensive. Having multiple little trains can be more expensive than one large train, but obviously you need platforms and stations that can accommodate the length of such trains. Now 320 meters, is the longest train stations you can have in the default game without using any kind of mods or anything, and I'm not using any station mods apart from the curvature mod, so you can have curved stations. So, you know, where's a good example? I think New York, wasn't it, around here? So again, depending where you're going to have your passengers, probably, well, Toronto would probably be a curved station, I think. Like so. And again, you can change the curvature to suit, make it less severe. And obviously you've got your number of platforms, so 2, you can have all the way up to 8 platforms running into a single station, which is great if you've got lots of vehicles, or you're able to forward think and anticipate how a city is potentially going to grow and expand, because like you say, you put something like that in early, your town will then grow around it, which is fine. That's not a problem. If you perhaps start with like a 2-platform station, and you know, you put a 2-platform station, say here, and then a bunch of buildings and stuff develop on the right hand side of that station, you know, the town expands to the right hand side of the station. Later on in the game, when you come to want to upgrade that station to an 8-way, you will have problems because buildings will be in the way. And as you see, if you suddenly want to start knocking down buildings to upgrade your stations, it gets very expensive. Look, you know, 13 million, nearly 14 million dollars to knock down buildings to put in a larger station. So you kind of need to be thinking ahead at this point and planning how you plan to get. We've got Copenhagen up there. I don't know whether I'm going to run a train line into Copenhagen. We may do. Now, I normally start with a 4-track station. And I'm potentially going to put it somewhere here. Maybe I don't need it quite so curved. So, I'm going to do Berlin to Paris as my first link. Berlin to Paris, and then I could run that up to Copenhagen. Okay, so we're going to come around that farm processing plant. So I'm going to need another state. Oh no, that's a good station I put in there. Not a passenger station. Epic fail. I think I'm going to put 6 in actually. Because I'm going to have... Do I need 6 here? Probably no. Actually 4. 4's going to be right. I think for what I need. Okay, and we want another one. I perhaps just want this to be straight. I'm guessing. Okay, so we're gonna run it. I think back to there. Not very large, so I'm thinking perhaps we'd get away here. Maybe something like something like that, because ultimately I'm going to go down to Toulouse and I'm going to need a station on this side of Toulouse. Right, here's what I'm going to do. join them up. I'm going to come down here actually, and then I'm going to do a route across to there. Upgrade that. Bulldoze that tiny little piece there. Right. So that's got a main connection again, so I'm not going to bulldoze any more there. I'm going to go back to my... run that into there. That gives me a few more little avenues. We'll upgrade that tiny little stretch there for future traffic needs. Right, I'm going to need... this is probably the one where I will end up knocking down some buildings, I should imagine. 2 buildings. It is worth sacrificing them. You don't normally want to knock down buildings if you can help it. I'm going to do there to there, and I'm going to do there to there. I'm going to do there into there. So that gives them an area to expand and develop. I need to be very careful here. So I'm going to have to run my train tracks quite quickly. No, let's switch to ballast, because what I can do with ballast I'm going to run ballast either side. Ballast is useful because it's kind of like fake rail line, and basically you use it to reserve space. So for example, I'm putting that down there like that. If I put another one in like that, basically what happens is nothing can build on that area. It stops buildings building too close to your station. So for example, we've got, so that's basically, it's basically an artificial level crossing there now. A huge level crossing. But the buildings will only be able to expand to here, and then they'll be forced along here, so I'll have a little bit of a gap. So if I do want to, at a later date, expand the station and put in, say, 6 tracks, I won't hopefully have to demolish buildings, because the ballast will keep the buildings out of the station area. Now what I also perhaps need to do is maybe run some ballast. want it to sort of continue to follow that, but not, if you know what I mean. So it's going to come up with too much curvature there, but that's good. Whoa, whoa. What are you doing? What are you doing? Let's disable the snap. Pressing and holding shift disables the snap. No, no, I don't want that to go there. Take that tree out. So I've reserved a bit of room. Right, so we're going to want tracks again. Let's have a look. So we're going to connect those to the... there. We're going to connect... to there. I'm not going to run any ballast through the main part of the thing, but what I may do is run some, if you like, here. Maybe run, I don't know, 4 grand's worth there, 4 grand's worth, perhaps there. No, that's colliding. Come on. No. That will be with my train tracks, won't it? Why is it going a bit wobbly there? I don't know. Because of the ballast. Okie dokie. So we run that in, and then we're going to put the ballast obviously down beside it. Like so. And again, we're going to have buildings cropping up onto this side. So what we need to do... can't do that, because that's going to interfere with that. And then I need to come. Construction not... what do you mean construction not possible? Construction is indeed possible. Up to a point, which seems to be about there. So that will stop the buildings encroaching on that side. I appreciate I'm also going to have to do it down here as well. How best to do this? Need to run more or less straight out from Harry. Ballast in the middle. down from there down to there, like so. Right, so we've got our tracks. They probably want to be a little bit bigger. Now we're going to put ballast on this side. Two strips of it. And this side. I mean, construction not possible. Construction is indeed very, very possible. I don't get why the game mucks around at times. So I'll go through there, but it won't let me go across there. Interesting. Right, let's turn the snapping off. Maybe plug that into there.